Hoa is a beautifully crafted platformer inspired by Vietnamese mythology. Take a tranquil walk through nature as you play as Hoa, a nature spirit that journeys back home, bringing new life to her vibrant and hand-painted world. This 3 to 5 hour adventure is sure to put a smile on your face, especially to those that found linear platformer games like Journey and Limbo to be a joy to play. But before we jump into this review, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on my reviews. Any comments and likes on the video are appreciated as it helps the video come up in search, so let me know. What's your favorite bite-sized video game? Hoa's narrative is told entirely through environmental design and the backdrop of nature. Outside of a few simple words from some NPCs, most of Hoa's story is shown, not told. It's a fitting story of reclaiming nature with parallels to stories like Princess Mononoke. While I didn't find the story to be remarkably different or unique compared to those other similar stories about nature versus machine, I did find the world and its characters to be absolutely charming. I won't be touting Hoa for its story as much as I will its presentation in collaboration with its gameplay, as its narrative backdrop is adequate at most. Hoa is a simple linear platformer that won't be asking much of the player, but that also helps to be one of the more approachable indie releases this year. You control Hoa, who at the start of this game can only really just walk around. As you make your journey home, you come across these giant creatures that task you with collecting the butterflies across various regions. Each collection of butterflies earns you a new power that fits naturally into your platforming moveset in the game's story. For example, earlier in the game you unlock a new double jump that lets you traverse in later levels, but unlike a Metroidvania game, you won't be tasked with backtracking in a sandbox of exploration. Instead, Hoa is straightforward, linear, and is able to disregard much instruction as the game is fairly easy to understand thanks to its approach to gameplay. While the lack of challenge might turn away some players, I found it to be really good video game comfort food. It was nice to disregard any challenge and just enjoy what felt like an interactive virtual journey through nature. It was oddly soothing and therapeutic. Later in-game puzzles are the only things remotely challenging, but even to call them challenging feels a bit of a stretch. Nevertheless, Hoa does succeed in creating a lovely journey through nature, albeit a very simple one. Hoa paints quite literally a beautiful picture that looks straight out of a Studio Ghibli film. It leaves a lasting impression that is center stage throughout its 3 to 5 hour runtime. Large creatures pop their heads in from time to time that feel like creatures a grandmother would weave into her bedtime stories. It's an exceptionally beautiful game that's presented well over a mostly HUD-less UI. The layered background and foreground only help further cement the feeling that this world was grander and larger beyond what was shown on screen. Unfortunately, that stunning presentation does suffer from framerate issues. I played specifically on the Nintendo Switch, and while the target framerate is 30 frames per second on the console, I did see it drop down to the mid 20 frames per second a few times. While I personally wasn't able to test the game on other platforms, I heard similar reports from reviewer friends playing on an Xbox One and a PS4, although not as bad on Switch. When it is able to maintain that 30 FPS performance on Switch, the experience on the go felt impressive that this was even on a handheld to begin with. Hoa's soundtrack is calming and peaceful. The mostly piano-centric music evoked feelings of peace and tranquility throughout my time lingering through the forest and the various other settings the game took me through. Hearing Hoa's little pitter-patter as she walked along the grass to the melody of a piano put me in a relaxed, somber mood. In conjunction with its marvelous presentation, Hoa is sure to transport you to a world well beyond your own, one filled with fantasy and escape. Hoa feels like a welcome distraction from the monotonous day-to-day life. It transported me away from the bustling city of Los Angeles, dropped me into this nature-filled wonderland that brought peace and tranquility. While its bite-sized 3-hour runtime and lack of challenge may push away those looking for a less shallow game, if you're just looking for something beautiful to distract you, this is one of the better options to play over a day off from work or at your bedside with your Switch.